After you assign resources to tasks, you have to make a second pass through your schedule to make sure your resource assignments work. Workloads have to be just right, so you keep your team members busy without burning them out. The Gantt chart, the task form, and the Assign Resources dialog box that you use to assign resources focus on tasks and assignments for one task at a time. Project's Resource Usage View makes it easy to scan all of the assignments for a resource, review day-by-day assignment details, and find over-allocations. Other views and filters provide shortcuts for hunting down the over-allocations hiding in your schedule. To quickly scan how many resources are over-allocated, look at the Resource Sheet. On the View tab, click Resource Sheet. If a resource is over-allocated even once, the text in the Resources row is red and bold, and the Indicators column contains a yellow diamond with an exclamation mark. In this view, you can see how many resources you have to work on, but you can't tell how much balancing you'll have to do. The Resource Usage View is great when you want to see all of a resource's assignments and the day-to-day assigned hours that produce over-allocations. On the View tab, click Resource Usage. In the Resource Usage View, each resource in the project appears in a summary row. Right off the bat, you can see how many hours the resource is assigned on your project in the Work column. The Summary row shows the total hours assigned to the resource. The Assignment rows show the hours for each assignment. When you first display the Resource Usage View, you probably won't see over-allocations immediately. And even if you do, over-allocations can be spread out over time or across many assignments. You can jump from over-allocation to over-allocation by clicking the Resource tab and then clicking Next Over-allocation. This command starts looking for over-allocations from the currently selected date and assignment. It works its way down the time period from assignment to assignment. When it gets to the last assignment in a column, it moves to the next time period. Because of that, it's better if you change the time phase grid to show weeks instead of days. Right-click the Timescale heading and then choose Timescale. Click the bottom tier tab and then choose Weeks. Click the middle tier and change that to, say, Months, and then click OK. If the command doesn't find any over-allocations, try searching from the beginning of the project. You can press Control-Home to move to the first column in the first row. Then press Control-Up arrow to move to the first cell in the first row. If the resource is over-allocated at all, the text in the Summary row is red and bold, and the yellow diamond with an exclamation point appears in the Indicators column. The time phase grid on the right shows hours assigned during each time period. If the hours are higher than the resource's maximum available time, the hours appear in red too. Unfortunately, if several tasks contribute to the over-allocation, the hours in the Summary row are red, but the hours in the assignment rows aren't. You can focus on the over-allocated resources by filtering the resources in the view. Click the down arrow to the right of the Resource Name column heading. On the drop-down menu, point to Filters and then choose Over-allocated Resources. The list of resources changes to all red and bold because all of these resources are over-allocated. The over-allocated resources filter works on any view. When you want to see all the resources again, click the down arrow next to the Resource Names heading. In the Filters drop-down list, choose All Resources. When you're trying to figure out how to balance out over-allocations, other fields can help. The over-allocation field tells you how many hours you've gone beyond the resource's available time. On the other hand, the remaining availability field shows the hours that resources have available if you're looking for replacements. Project 2010 makes it easy to display or hide other fields in the Resource Usage Time Phase grid. Click the Format tab, and then turn on the checkboxes for the fields you want. In this example, over-allocation. Another row appears in each assignment for over-allocated hours. The Resource Allocation view goes one step further if you want to manually delay tasks to remove over-allocations. It displays the Resource Usage view in the primary pane and the Leveling Gantt chart in the Details pane, so you can add a leveling delay, which you learn about in a later movie. To display the resource allocation combination view, on the View tab, click Other Views, and then choose More Views. In the More Views dialog box, double-click Resource Allocation. The resource graph is a great companion to the Gantt chart, task usage, or resource usage view. It shows resource allocation by time period. On the View tab, turn on the Details checkbox. In the drop-down list, choose Resource Graph. Vertical bars show the selected resources allocation by time period. When the vertical bar shoots past the horizontal line of the resource's availability, the bar above the line is red to show that the resource is overallocated. The resource graph doesn't show the assignments for the overallocated time. That's why it's better to display it in the Details pane with the Resource Usage view in the Primary pane. Like the Resource Usage view, you can change the fields you see in the resource graph. Make sure that the resource graph is the active view by clicking it. Then click the Format tab. In the Graph drop-down list, choose the field that you want to see. For example, overallocation. Project has several views that help you see resource assignments and resource overallocations. You can filter views or show different fields to help you decide how to reallocate resources. The best way to look at assignments is to display a view like resource usage in the primary pane, so you can see the big picture of a resource's assignments. Then you can display another view like the leveling Gantt or the resource graph in the Details pane to dig deeper and figure out a solution.